Hello, Annaville Baptist Church Vacation Bible School Secret Agents. I hope you're having a great week. I especially hope that you're enjoying your mission time. My name is Gary Mathis. I served as a missionary for 14 years through the North American Mission Board. That's the mission organization for our Southern Baptist Convention that serves in the United States and Canada. I served 6 years in West Virginia and the last 8 years in South Carolina. I want to tell you about a few of the missions that I was involved with in Charleston, South Carolina. One of them was Seafarer Missions. The port of Charleston is a very large port. Just as Corpus Christi has a port where many ships come in and bring goods, Charleston was the same way. Most of the ships that came into Charleston looked very similar to this. They're called container ships, and that's simply because they carry hundreds, actually over thousands of containers. Most of these ships have 2,000 or 3,000 containers on them. In those containers you'll find things that were made in other countries that are brought to our country, such as clothes, TVs, just almost anything that you can buy that wasn't made in the United States was probably brought here in one of these ships. Now these ships are huge. They're about 900 feet long, which is the same as about 3 football fields. I want to ask you a question, agents. How many seafarers do you think it takes to run one of these massive ships? Think for just a moment. I wonder who in the class there can get the closest answer. The answer is 20 to 25. It's a relatively small number, probably compared to what you were thinking, but that's all it takes. They work hard. I also want to ask you, where do you think these men come from? In other words, what countries? I'm going to give you a second just to throw out some ideas. The main country that we saw seafarers from was the Philippines. Probably at least a third of all the sailors we met were from the Philippines. But they're from many countries. We saw sailors from China, from India, from Ukraine, Russia, Italy, and I could go on and on, because during those 8 years that I served there, we registered meeting at least one sailor from over 100 countries. You might also wonder, how in the world can we talk to those men? Would you believe that I speak over 10 languages? No. Most of those men know English. It's not very good English at times, but it's enough to carry on a basic conversation. The men who work on these ships, they leave their countries, they get on one of these ships, and they normally work for about 9 months. That's every day. They don't get days off, they don't get holidays off. They work hard, they work a lot of hours. Most of them are married, many of them have children, and so they desperately miss their families. So what are we doing to minister to the men on these ships? Well, the main thing we do simply is go to visit the men. Have conversations with them, of course, always wanting to talk about Jesus Christ. We take a lot of things to them. The main thing being Bibles in their own language. While they can speak English, it's hard for them to read it, especially some of the Bible passages. It's just much easier if they can get a Bible in their own languages. So we in our Seafarer Center have Bibles from many countries, actually mostly New Testaments. So we give away those Bibles, and we give away magazines. We give away Christmas presents to them. And then one more thing that we do quite a bit is provide them transportation. If they can get off the ship, they often want to go to a Walmart or somewhere where they can shop. And so that's an important service that our ministry provided. Now I want to tell you about one more mission that I was involved in, and that's called disaster relief. I want you to think for just a moment about some different kind of disasters. Just brainstorm among yourselves for a moment. What are some natural disasters that can happen to this community? Many, many ways that people can be devastated. Just a few that we responded to were tornadoes, wildfires, ice storms, and the main one was hurricanes. We did a lot of hurricane relief. So what are some of the things that we did? Well, feeding people was our primary way of serving. We had a trailer filled with commercial equipment, And we could cook up to 15,000 meals a day, hot meals, served to people. When a hurricane hits an area and they lose power and electricity, they don't have a way to prepare meals for themselves. And so that's the way that we're able to help them. We also do something called mud out, which when a home or a church is flooded, we have to go in and help them tear out all their carpet, get out their furniture, their clothes. Everything that was flooded is ruined. And so it's a big help to help them clean out their home before they can begin to rebuild it. And then we also did chainsaw work. When tree limbs would come down on homes or blocking driveways or blocking roads, we'd get in there with our chainsaw trailer and our team and start cutting those limbs up and helping the folks. Now, why do we do all of this work? Because it's all hard work, long hours. The motto for Disaster Relief is a cup of water in Jesus' name. We're trying to help people by meeting their needs, but letting them know that we're doing it through the love of Jesus. And I want to encourage you to think about the places that you go, because you know what? You're a missionary in those places. There might not be any missionary from the mission board that goes there, but you do. And so I want to encourage you to think about the people that you can serve and tell about Jesus. Continue having a great week at Vacation Bible School.